Alright people, hello everyone. Today's topic is very important for me, but also I think it will be also important for you as well. This video is mainly intended for server owners, but also like if you are a passionate player, it will be also useful for you like to realize and to find out how loot is spawning in game and what types of loot do you have and how do you control it. Okay, let's begin. So types XML, what is it? Let's actually begin with the basics. So XML is extensible markup language. Basically it's a text file with specific set of rules for encoding documents, and this format is both human readable and machine readable. So where is now XML? Okay, here. So this is your types XML, right? This is the most important part of your server. It controls all item spawn on your server. Okay, so XML is very fragile and you must follow the rules and the syntaxes for XML. Otherwise, even one single mistake, it will be ruined completely and your game engine will not spawn the loot. Technically, it's not a game engine, it's economy engine, but for simplicity, we will just call it game engine, okay? So it will not spawn the loot, even if you make one single mistake. Okay, like for example here, just remove this angle bracket and here you go, your file is damaged, it will not work at all. Okay, so the game engine will not be able to read it. Yeah, so the contents is quite simple if you are familiar with XML language. Okay, so inside XML you must have the header first. You shouldn't change it. It should be always like this. Then goes your opening types tag. Opening like without the slash here. So this is opening, this is closing tag. Come on, give me slash. No. Oh, and now it's not working. Thank you, computer. Thank you, Windows. Yeah. So this is closing tag, right? So at the very bottom, so here it must start like this. So angle bracket types angle bracket, right? So at the very bottom, you must have the closing tag. So types tag must be closed here. It should be the very last line of your XML file, okay? So the rest are called classes. So it is basically your items in game, and each class defines the properties of each item which you spawn in the game, right? So it has very specific syntax which you must follow. Again, this is the rule of XML. If you misplace something, if you change the case of the letters, if you remove something, it will not work. Inside the types, there are some mandatory components, elements, and some are optional. So we're gonna discuss everything in details about that. So the first line, it's your name of the item, okay? So it must be quoted. The angle bracket must be here also. Nominal is the value of maximum amount of items engine will spawn for you in the game. So in this case, for AK101, the maximum amount on the whole map will be 5 pieces. Okay. So the lifetime in seconds. This is the lifetime of the item when it is already spawned. So once the lifetime will be over, and if you have restock timer here, the third one, sorry, So the engine will start to respond this item to hit the maximum amount, which is nominal, right? Minimum amount. So minimum amount, this is like the mark for the engine to start responding more items. So when it hits minimum number, in this case 2, on the whole map, it will count the whole map. And if the restock timer is already over, it will put the additional items in the spawner queue, and it will be respawned. Quantity minimum, quantity maximum. So these two guys are very tricky, and apparently I will have to re-upload the whole video because initially I've made some mistakes in the description. Thanks to Naughty Banana for valuable comments and additions to that information. So these represents quantity of the sub items in your primary class. Okay, what does it mean? So for example, in this case, this is the magazine, like for some weapon. It has 20 rounds, so maximum amount is 20 rounds, and these values are percentage, and in this range, so when you're spawning the item, you will have percentage of the bullets inside the magazine within this range. So in this case, from 10 to 100%. This is not just decimal values, these are percentage. Keep this in mind. So if you put, like, for example, 2 to 20, it means not 2 bullets to 20 bullets. It means 2% to 20%, which in this case, it will be like from 2 bullets to whatever, 20%, 5 to 5 bullets. From 1 bullet to 5 bullets, something like this. So, and in case of the previous values, from 10 to 100, it will be it will be 2 bullets to 20 bullets to full magazine. This is percentage, okay? And it works only for magazines and for bullet stacks. We have here the bullet stack, and again we see the same values here in the quantity minimum, quantity maximum, and this is percentage again. So for magazines and bullet stacks only. Sometimes you may think that it would also work for other items types, like for example for ammo box. Where do we have this? So take any ammo box like this one here. No, the percentage here will not work. So any value which you place here, for example 10 to 100, it will still spawn full ammo box, but it could be bugged. So please keep this in mind. And for all normal type items, even for ammo box, always put -1 here. -1 in general means disabled, not in use. Okay, so yeah, for ammo box it should be -1. For magazines and for ammo stacks, you can specify the exact value which you want. So you can specify 100, it will be always full. So for magazines also works this one. So if you specify here -1, the magazine always will be spawning fully loaded. It works only for this, and it could be also confusing. So just keep in mind that all normal items have -1 here, and only magazines and ammo stacks could have different values, which you prefer, whatever you like, but from 0 to 100% only. Okay, so this is tricky one. So that's why I decided to make my own web service to help you out. Okay, so but about this a little bit later. Yeah, so let's try to find some some things are optional in the types. So for example, for some static items which doesn't need to be automatically spawned on the map, you could only have like this. So lifetime and flex, this is it, and it will be working fine. But it will not spawn definitely on the map by itself, but you can call it from other different methods, like from the events, dynamic events, or for example, if it shouldn't be persistent, so these types they does not persist. Okay, and yeah, so it's definitely possible like this, but just keep in mind that still it needs to follow the rules of the XML. Okay, so let's try to find the magazine or ammo box, whatever. Yeah, and also about commands. So in XML, I saw so many times people making commands like this. So 2 slashes. It is not valid command in XML. If you put like this, if you try to comment like this in your types XML file, it will break your file. It literally means that your file will not be read by the game engine, and it will not work. It will break your game instantly if you make these commands. So in XML, the commands looks different, like so, like so. So inside these tags you can put anything and it will be commands. Okay, like it could be multi-line, it could be single line, like so. Yeah, see. So this is XML commands, but again, when you are using the web service, all commands will be removed from your file. Sorry, but there are no ways to preserve that. So yeah, keep this in mind. Okay. Between the types, you can definitely leave some white space just for your convenience if you want to separate like different set of types from different modes, right? Yeah, so now we are familiar with our types XML, and let's continue to the web service which I've just recently launched, and I will describe the details there. Okay, we're here. The URL is, the server name is daisytypes.pro. Very simple. This is the service. It's quite simple, quite basic, but still functional design. Why do you want to use that service? Why do you need it? Why have I created that in the first place? Well, if you have errors in your types.xml file, it already means that your server is not working properly. You could face so many different weird types of issues if your types.xml is damaged. Okay, like despawning items. Items does not spawn at all. Only one types of items is spawning. These are all results of the damages inside your types XML. Okay, so this is the main reason to use this service to verify your file. Yeah, and if somebody wonders where the hell do I find this types XML, so in your server folder, go to permissions folder, then select your map which you are using for your server. It's either Chernerus or Enoch, which is Livonia. So Chernerus, DB folder, and here is your types XML. Okay, so very basic website. The features of the service, you can read it by yourself. I will not waste any time for this. Here is Russian and English help. So this one is for basic operations, and this is the detail guide here. Okay, Discord support is here, so if you have any questions, feel free to join our server and our channel, and I will help you. I will try at least. Okay. Vanilla types. Vanilla types is the file. It's actually on the GitHub of Bohemia, and this is raw, unchanged, clean types.xml. Okay, with the all latest changes which they're making on the GitHub. So you just go here and save as, put it here, types.xml, doesn't matter, and here you go, you have a clean file. This is only for testing because like most probably you already have a lot of types inside, a lot of additional types inside your types.xml from different modes, but it's always worth trying the clean one just for checking how does it work. Okay. So how to read this carefully. Here you will find this video actually, which I'm recording right now. For now it's only placeholder here. You'll find this video and text description, how does it work, what should you do, what should you do not, like what the values are. Definitely go to the detailed guide, and inside the detailed guide you will find all the details regarding XML. Here example again about the commands, how does it work. This is not XML command, it will not work. All the types and the all the elements from the type, and all the descriptions are here, and here are the values for category names, tag names, usage names, and value. Okay, again, case sensitive, weapons, and weapons starting with capital letter, 2 different category names. Okay, be aware of that. You have to follow only this spelling, only this, because this is vanilla spelling. It's hard coded in the game. Technically, you could definitely change that via economy editor, but for the majority, like 99% of people, you would never mess with it. You have to always specify it like this in your types. Okay. Yeah. So get back to the. By the way, this one is the button to return to the home folder, to the main page. Okay. So let's begin. Click here, select your file, which one should I use? Oh, like this. Yeah, boom, we're in. Now this is, if you see this table with the details, it means you are all good and you know what you are doing and your file is not damaged. Okay. But this is not the case for like 99% of the server owners. Again, let's try something different. Boom, your file is corrupted. Okay, what is happening? I have no fucking idea. This is the error list, which and if you have 4 errors in your whole file, right, like with 40,000 strings inside, 40,000 classes inside, it means that you are perfectly fine, because like 4 errors is nothing. I've seen like hundreds and hundreds of errors inside the file, and to fix that you will spend the whole day. Okay. Yeah, so what does it say here? The attribute, the name attribute is invalid. Which name we don't know because it's not specified here. The value industrial2 is invalid according to its data type string. Enumeration constraint failed. These error messages, they are not really user friendly. And sadly, you cannot, this is not user controlled. I cannot program it to be more friendly. This is not my error messages, okay? These goes from the validation library, and the validation library is the huge thing. It's like, it's massive. It's massive. It's impossible to build your own validation library for the whole XML language. It's just impossible, okay? So everybody uses the predefined libraries, and these errors goes from the library rules. You cannot change that. But we have line number. We have line number here, okay? So what should we do? Let's find this file. What file was that? Oh, 8. Oh, I'm blind, sorry. 639. Yeah, here. Industrial 2. Industrial 2. So what is the mistake here? Try to guess. Try to guess. Let's get back to detailed guide and let's compare our list of values and the text. This is usage name, right? Goes to usage name. So usage name, here we have industrial. But here we have industrial 2, which is incorrect. Your engine will not load these items because you have incorrect spelling here for all the parts, for all the elements. Okay? Boom! Instantly we fix the issue. It's not that obvious all the time. Definitely not that obvious, because, like, for example, I've seen very hard to fix issues, like, for example, okay, so the class name was like this. Sorry. Yeah. So the class name was like this. And engine will definitely, I mean, validation engine will definitely stop you here. Wrong characters in the class name. So it was like this here. Okay. Boom, instantly. What is the issue? You have no idea. And the wrong is that you have the invalid character here. This is not 6. This is Russian letter B. Okay? Because 6 is like that. You see the difference? And it's very hard to tell, actually, at the first glance, what is the issue. And I've seen so much things like that. For example, the brackets was wrong type. It looks like this also, but it was wrong type. The quotes were missing, and instantly it will invalidate your file. Even one quote is missing, instantly the file is invalid. Instantly. So like these, the brackets were missing. So you have all the different types of the mistakes you could make, and everything will invalidate your file. So here, in such case, like, be very careful and very carefully look inside the issue and just compare it with the list of the names which I provided. Okay, so if we remove this and put 6 instead of B, everything will be good. Okay. Yeah. Again, technically, you could. This is just an example. Okay, this is not a real case, but technically, you could use anything which corresponds to UTF-8 encoding. So it could be localized characters, like any languages which are inside UTF encoding. So it doesn't matter. But realistically, all the item names are only in English. Okay. Yeah, we corrected everything and we have our file loaded. So what should we do next? Great. Now we can start editing at last. Yeah, so again, these are buttons for your help. So if you press it, it will be opened in your window. Save button, obviously this is your save button. Press it and it will save your types. I exported already. Reset button, if you made any changes, like, oh no, it won't allow me. Yeah. Okay. And we press reset. It will reset all the items which were in the original file before any edits. Okay. Okay, now what we have here? Again, here the same things as we had in our types. Nominal, name, this is like type name, class name, name here, nominal, minimum. I changed the order of the columns just for convenience, because normally you would only change nominal and minimum most of the time. So it's convenient when you have it close, okay? So that's why. But in the file, it will still have, like, inside the exported file, your minimum will be after restock, okay? Because this is the rules of this file. Yeah, so nominal, minimum, lifetime, again here, restock, quantity minimum, quantity maximum, cost, and category. We don't see flags here, we don't see usage name and values, right? What should we do? We have it here. It is hidden, just for your convenience, because it takes too much space on the screen. So by default, it is hidden because very rarely people are editing these values. So right click here with your mouse, show columns, boom, you have everything back. Okay, now we need to be able to scroll it somehow. Where's scroll bar? It should be here. Okay, we've changed the browser. For some reason it didn't work there, I don't know. Again, so yeah, the columns are just hidden. You can unhide it and you'll see all the columns here, and the scroll bar is here. Yeah, so it doesn't work reliably all the time. Like, for example, sometimes you will only see hide columns and no show, but you will figure out how to use it. These are checkboxes here. Because this is binary value, it could only be 1 or 0. So checked mean 1, unchecked is 0. Here for usage name, this is text. Be aware, case sensitive again, and the name of the usage name and value and tag must be the same as it defines in the game engine. So you have to be aware of the syntaxes and aware of the case of the letters, okay? You can change it also here, like so. But please be aware of the spelling. How to use this? So in most of the cases you will be changing only nominal and minimal values. And it's very easy. You could copy paste, you could this is Excel like editing, so you can drag down. For example, we want, okay, let's try something like our AK-74s. So we want all AK-74s to be nominal 50 and minimum, like, for example, 20. Okay, so boom, now just drag down everything 50, drag down everything 20. Now we want minimum to be like 60. Boom, error. Minimum value must be more or equal than nominal value, and it will get back to the previous value. So you cannot violate these rules. You have also user input control here. Lifetime maximum would be 45 days in seconds again. So if you would like put something ridiculous here, it will be automatically set for maximum lifetime, which is 45 days. Restock, again, something like this. Restock value is not recommended more than 100,000 seconds. It is not recommended. Technically it could be like so, but I wouldn't recommend that. Again, for details, refer to detailed guide. Okay, same here, like for example -2, blah blah blah, it cannot be. So -2 is invalid value. You won't be able to use that. Okay, so quantity minimum must be in range from -1 to 100. Okay. Yeah, so this is how you basically edit in these things. Again here for web, for the category types you cannot change it. This is predefined value. So for example, if you want to move this web onto tools category, you have to do this manually, because normally this is not normal behavior, and in general you wouldn't want to do this. Okay, so what else do we have here? For example, we can let's do something. Can, for example. Yeah, so we have different category names. We want all cans only from food category. We go here, we clear all, and we select only food category. Boom. You have only, so you filter it by the value which you specified here, and you also filter it by the category name. Make sense? So, and you can use it multiple times. So for each of the, and for example, we want the value only from tier 3, right? So here we go like this, contains tier 3. Boom. And only tier 3 items from the food category. Okay. Yeah. So this is how you edit your items. And copy paste and also an issue. So select whatever you want, press Ctrl C, and here press Ctrl V. Yeah, but nominal is not recommended more than 500, so it's a warning here. Let's click it over. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. So let's try it like this. Boom. Okay. Boom. So you can copy paste with ease. This one you can also copy. Ctrl C, go here, and these are your raw class names. For example, this is very useful for making your trader config files for the trader mode. So this is that. Yeah, so the last thing is you just save the file, and here you go, your new file. Open this. Yeah, here's your new file. Let's search for baked beans. Yeah, and here's our value. Nominal 500, lifetime 500, and restock 18, and minimum 18 also. Yeah? So this is basically it. That's how easy now you can edit your types file, and I hope it will help you a lot and avoid so many frustrating issues like with despawning and such. Okay. Yeah, and one thing, so as I've described before, we have the predefined names for usage names and categories. But if you are a developer and if you are developing a custom maps, you wouldn't want to be restricted by that, because you may have any different number of usage names and category types. So in this case, you have to press this checkbox here, and the engine of the web service will allow you to, it will basically apply less restricted validation engine, and it will allow you to load your file regardless of the names of the usage names and categories. Okay, but if you are using vanilla map and vanilla server, do not use this. Do not use this. You want your default validation engine. Okay, always refer to the detailed guide as a reference. So here you will find everything you need for editing your files. So yeah, this is basically it. Enjoy, subscribe, and join our Discord for any comments. If you find a bug, please let me know. It's very important. So yeah, this is it. Goodbye.